But they'll take Texas one loss before they take Ohio State one loss. Conference champ versus no conference title game. Yeah,
Well, they
yeah.
got
It
us
would. It
ahead of
would
Texas right now.
yeah, but
AP and coaches got us at 6
they get another game, and that the conference championship that carries weight always.
for sure. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
agree. And
it'd
I
be a goddamn
well,
mirror. It would take.
well, they still have us above Alabama too. Which if Bama beats Georgia, Bama's in.
The other. Yeah, and then they'll just arrange those four however they want to match with the four. You know what I mean? How get the maybe like an Oregon, Michigan, or Washington,
But
Michigan
that
Rose
committee
Bowl, and then you
does
got a.
not want to put Florida State in there. You know,
I think they will. I think they have to undefeated. You can't put a one-loss non-conference champ in versus an undefeated conference champ.
I agree. That's probably what. But
Now,
without their
do I think
quarterback,
Georgia and Bama both are better served to play for better chances of winning a national title than Florida State? But resume, what are they counting? Resume or who they eye test? That's what it'll
well,
be.
it's eye test.
Well,
They're supposed to get the 4 best teams in, regardless. Not
yeah,
conference
it'll just. It's,
champions, not 4 best teams. And I don't think Florida State, without their quarterback, is one of the 4 best teams.
I don't either. I don't either.
I think they're probably
But if I was
around the lower to mid teens without their quarterback.
if I'm a Seminole fan, I'm flipping the fuck out if I go
Well,
undefeated
fuck
conference
yeah.
champ and not in
Which will be
because
amazing. And if they don't let them in, well, who are they going to play in a championship
they
game?
it would be Florida State. Oh, Louisville lost to Kentucky.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah. Come on now. They'll wait. They'll beat Louisville.
All right,
yeah.
keep it rolling. I'll be right here. Just
Hey, bro.
give me a couple minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, we're just talking playoff.
Catching up on all the and all the rivalry games yesterday. Fucking,
Yeah,
they're all
keep it
close.
going. Keep it going. I'll be right back.
All right.
We got you. And folks, we are keeping it going. Joe will
So
be
I don't
right
know.
back with it.
Will Texas, but Texas, who's Texas going to beat in the championship game? I don't know if Texas jumps us.
I think what are they playing? Is it is it still Oklahoma State? No.
It'll
I don't
be
even
Oklahoma
to be
State or
honest.
Oklahoma. I think it'll be Oklahoma State.
Okay. I wasn't I couldn't remember if that was determined.
Well, I'm looking at the
Yeah,
standings, and it's got Oklahoma State and Oklahoma both 7-2 in conference, but the second team listed is Oklahoma State.
and oh yeah, because they have the tiebreaker over Oklahoma.
Is that why they'd be listed there? Okay, I'd buy that.
I think Oklahoma State beat them in Bedlam.
Yep,
So yeah, that's their tiebreaker, first tiebreaker, I guess.
because Oklahoma's
Yeah,
actually 10-2. Oklahoma State's 9-3. I don't
yeah.
know. Is Texas that good? I haven't really
I don't
watched
know. Are
Texas
they?
either.
I mean, how much credit are you giving them for the week two, double digit win and in Tuscaloosa? They're gonna hang their hat on that, saying, look how good Bama's looking now. We took it to them at home, at their
Yeah, and
home.
then they lost to
Which
Oklahoma. They squeaked by TCU 29-26, squeaked by
squeaked by
K-State
K
33-30.
State, Iowa State with a close game. Yeah, but they're gonna say their quarterback that Ewers was down. I, you know, I- those everybody has those tough those tight wins this year. Everybody does. Um, so how much credence do you give to that? Texas, I mean, they're if one loss conference champ with one of the best wins of the year. You know what I mean? In Alabama, that's a huge it's a huge resume. Washington's hanging on the best win is against Oregon. But Texas say look how Bama's playing now, and if they beat Georgia, Bama's like or Texas can easily say, well, look, they beat Georgia, one ACC champ, and no, and we beat them. Why are we not in this conversation? But they are the odd man out as far as the five conferences for sure. because there's undefeated. There's chances for undefeateds in all the other four.
Yeah, so then you think Florida State's out, right? Oh no, because no, never mind.
If it
There's no
comes down to if it
undefeated,
comes
is
down
there?
if it comes down to one loss Georgia, non-champ, and Florida State undefeated champ, ooh,
Yeah, that'd be the.
I, that could be it. Or if Georgia beats Bama, then Bama's out of the picture with two losses. Then you have Georgia, Michigan,
If you don't let Georgia
Oregon,
in,
or
you'll
Washington,
have
and then
revolution, especially if it's like a tight game.
what do you think the probability is of all four undefeated staying undefeated and it going chalk?
I'd say it's about a coin flip of that happening.
I think it could be very likely.
Yeah, I mean 50-50, that's for four games. I
But
mean, put the
and
parlay out there, and I bet it doesn't hit. But
I think Oregon, I think Washington is most likely to lose in the
yes,
championship game because I think Oregon's
but
gonna have something for them.
Georgia's got a hell of a
Beating the team
game.
twice in a year. Oh yeah, but you can't beating the team twice in a year. A team like Oregon, I don't know. I think Bo Nix is a Heisman Trophy winner. I guess depending on that game, if Penix throws for 6 touchdowns and Nix has some costly picks, that Heisman can be determined in that Pac-12 championship.
I think probably. I mean, Jaden Daniels had crazy numbers, but they lost 4 games, man. You ain't that good if you're losing that many games.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson when the RG3 the years they won it, Baylor and Louisville, they had three. I think each of them probably had at least two. RG3 might have went 10-2, no conference championship. Uh, he what's his name? Lamar went 8-3 at Louisville. So it's possible because the number's that big, but there
Yeah,
wasn't a close second in those races if I remember correctly. So all things being equal, I think Bo Nix gets it. I think he outplays Penix
well,
in the
I think
conference game.
I think the winner of that game gets it because, like I said, I think Daniels is out. Marv's on the cusp. Marv gets invited, but he's the third. I'm with you. It's
Fourth.
between Nix and Penix, and I think whoever wins that game, as long as they don't have a complete clunker and the D wins it for them,
Right.
that's going to be the Heisman right there. That's pretty.
It's
sweet.
a little tight between Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels. Bo Nix -160 right now. Jaden Daniels +130. Penix is +1600. Not even worth taking action.
Well, I think that can jump real quick after one game. They score a bunch of points on Oregon. If Penix and Washington put it on Oregon in the Pac-12 championship, and the showdown or the comparison of the two is way favored to Penix, that can swing that in one weekend for sure.
And he beat him twice in the shootout. I mean,
Beating him twice, and yeah,
That's hard to do, though. That's a lot
super
of
hard to
jumping steps.
We're all me and Sean, we're both predicting Oregon to come back and beat Washington, but Penix, that's what I'm saying. Penix he's not out of it because he's going to have that game if he plays well and Bo doesn't.
we were just looking at the stats from when he played for Indiana. If he has that type of game against the Buckeyes, I think he had 490 yards and 5 touchdowns against us that one year.
Jesus,
He throws up those kind of numbers.
Was it that big? He had that big a day against us?
Yeah, it was nuts. I just looked it up yesterday. I was like, he did really well against us, and we pulled it up. I'm like, holy, it was like 490 or something.
Right. So let's keep it going on the national stuff before we actually get into the Buckeye game. Kind of ooze our way into it. I am keeping a close eye on the chat for you Michigan fucks who will inevitably make it into trying to just be assholes because
a
large part of your fan base does that. Anyway, so let's keep it going on the national scene because it's we just dropped to 6th in the polls, the coaches and the AP, and obviously the CFP poll on Tuesday is most important.
And we're going to be even further down, I think, than that.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
I don't.
I think they've been waiting. I think they've been waiting to dump either us or Michigan. I think we go. I think Texas, Bama. They're all in front of us for sure. Because those guys are
disagree.
they're lining them up to play for the conference championship games. That's why they're going to set them up at, those one-loss teams are going to be 5, 6, 7. We could be 7 or 8.
Okay. And so that then leads into the fact that they could both lose their conference championship games, especially Bama, right?
True.
That's not
Texas
a
very likely could.
reach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Quinn Ewers does not look like he's 100%.
I mean, if all goes well, I think the highest we get is 5. After the championship weekend, I think the highest we can get is 5.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I don't see how we would need Oregon, Florida State, Texas, and Bama all to lose to have a chance of getting into 4. That's the only way we get in those 4. I see. Do you agree with that? What kind of path? What kind of path do you think what path would we take?
So you're saying a 1-loss Oregon is better than a 1-loss Ohio State if Oregon beats Washington?
Yes,
because that's in the eyes of the committee,
in the eyes of the committee, I think yes. I think Oregon will go. I think they'll go.
You think that the Pac-12 still has some shred of respect?
I think in the eyes of them, yes. Now, would I like to see
a 1-loss Pac-12 team gets in a 4-team
champion
playoff,
conference champ, and we're not even playing for it, and they're a conference
doesn't
champ.
matter.
It does to these people. The people that fucking decide it, Joe. It matters to them because they tell us it does. That's what I'm getting at. I'm not saying I want it that way, and I wouldn't do it that way, but I think that's what they're going to do.
No, but Jeff, remember how we hear so much about this is about making TV shows, right? Bo says it every day on 97.1 in Columbus. It's about making TV shows. So you think a Pac-12 team in a 4-team playoff with 1 loss gets better numbers and is more useful than Ohio State with 1 loss? No, that's not true.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's debatable. I mean, Oregon.
Come on, Shawn. It's Ohio State versus Oregon and Washington. Hey. Come on,
Joe.
Come on,
Joe.
Well, Washington, if they lose, would surely not be ahead of us. I'll give you that. Oregon, but here's the reality of the matter: is Oregon gets a chance to avenge their fucking loss, where Ohio State doesn't, because we do it different. If we did it like the Big 12, we'd get a chance to avenge our loss next week against Michigan because we'd be 1-2. And so
next year we'll have that option, yes.
Yep.
But not this year. And still, again, this committee is trying to make the best viewing options for money. It's not about, who deserves. Who deserves is no longer a thing, and that's very arbitrary anyway. So I hate it when people say, "Oh, we don't deserve it. Ohio State doesn't deserve it." They said that shit last year when we lost to Michigan, man. Fuck deserves.
I don't know when did they get it? When have they got it wrong though?
I don't know, Shawn. I'm not going to run back through all of the different scenarios right now with you because
maybe they learned their lesson.
I'm not going to take that time.
Maybe they learned their lesson from putting TCU in last year, but they sure shit did. And
I would hope, but maybe not.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think they get it right most of the time. It just happens to be the big money teams that are the best. There's only 2 times I can't really remember getting them right. When Michigan State upset us, we were clearly one of the best teams in the country, and Michigan State went and they fucked that up because we were one of the best. And conversely, the year before that, I think we beat Michigan State, and Michigan State was their best team, and they were rock solid. We got in and got blown out. We probably shouldn't have got in that year, and Michigan State probably should have.
And Penn State won the conference that year. Penn State won the conference that year.
And
16.
That's when Braxton got his shoulder blown out in the first quarter. So hold up there. Hold up.
Well,
that's a different game when the starting quarterback gets knocked the fuck out. You know.
We're talking about different years.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, the year we got blown out by Shawn Watson and Clemson was 16.
And when did Braxton get hurt in the
2013.
first quarter?
2013.
So let's go down your rabbit hole, Joe. So are you telling me that the money that makes TV shows would like to see Oregon beat Washington to be able to keep Washington out, and then have Ohio State leapfrog Oregon? Well, not leapfrog them now. We'll see where it comes out. Not playing. What do you think the money wants? What game do they? I mean,
Ohio State. They want Ohio State in any game that matters.
Of course they do.
Rose Bowl or Sugar Bowl. Yeah. I don't think the
CFP committee decides this shit. They could look at, so like our guy, remember our interview with Gary, Mr. Stoken, the Peach Bowl CEO and president. He said he went to the college football playoff committee meetings, saw what they saw. He sat there in their chairs and said, okay, so I can pull up Ohio State versus whoever. I could pull up Michigan versus whoever, Georgia, Alabama. I could pull up all these games, like concise, the condensed versions of these games, and I can watch them as a committee member and say, okay, I can make a decision from this information, not just stats, looking at box scores and, stupid shit that really is only one part of the picture. But Gary told us,
if you watched Ohio State games, do you think a committee is looking at Kyle McCord and thinking, you know what, that is the fucking championship caliber quarterback? Do you think that's
you're changing the topic, Shawn? You went completely sideways to one player, Shawn. You can't do that. The committee members. Hold up.
Okay,
hold the fuck up. The committee members are not looking at just the quarterback. Just the O-line, or just the defense. They're looking at the whole. What? Go ahead.
No, I'm saying, why are you telling us? What are you telling us that we don't know shit, but you know what they're saying, what they're thinking? Why are you so convinced that what he's getting at is not a turnoff when you have possibly the Heisman Trophy winner that they average 40-some points a game versus Kyle McCord? I don't know why you were so definite that they do not want a Pac-12 champion, one-loss Oregon who avenged their one loss to an undefeated team that was previously ranked ahead of them.
Because
now, yes, Ohio State's a bigger name, bigger.
Nobody cares about the Pac-12. It's been shown over decades of watching football. Just this year right now, yes, Washington and Oregon are in the top 5. Great. Nobody cares.
Well, we'll wait and see. I guess we'll see when it comes. It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good game to watch. So I'll definitely be tuning in to watch that Pac-12 championship.
Yeah,
it could decide the Heisman. Decide the playoff.
I was all into the Apple Cup last night. I had apple cider and vodka. I think I was just doing vodka with it. I don't know what that's called. It's probably like a Russian apple kind of name. Anyway, I was all into the Washington State game. I was cheering for Washington State, obviously, but it's not the way it worked out. I don't care. I just think I will be shocked if a Pac-12 team is in the playoffs. I'm watching the fucking chat, so if any Michigan
what about undefeated? What if the Huskies go undefeated? You still think they leave them out? You think they leave Washington out undefeated? Beating Oregon twice? Come on, no way. No way.
Yeah, there's no way they'd leave out an undefeated Washington.
With two wins over Oregon, no way would they leave them.
They'll leave out an undefeated Florida State before that.
Yes. Yeah, Florida State would be odd man
I
out,
just
and
watched
Washington would
that
go.
Florida State game last night. Actually, that was
I watched
a
a bit of
tight
that too.
contest with a Florida team that isn't even ranked,
and the worst defense in the SEC. Yeah, they give it.
again,
Yeah,
not
I mean, going into
ranked.
that game,
That
yeah,
committee does not want
yeah.
Florida State in there, though. They know with their quarterback out, like that's where the argument comes. Are they one of the best four? They're probably one of the most deserving, but everyone knows Florida State would get beat by the top 8 teams, maybe the top dozen.
Again, see, that's where you get these terms that have no definition, Shawn, like you just used. Most deserving. What the fuck does that mean? Nobody has a definition for that.
That's always
that's your opinion, maybe, but that's not like a defined term with the voters or the CFP committee. It sounds nice, yeah. But I think the Ohio State's most
the only
deserving.
time I really use most deserving is when teams are undefeated. So I'm like, they've done everything you put in front of them.
But who have they played? I mean, you got to look at strength of schedule, man. I mean, that's key.
Hey, I didn't make the Power 5. Should have been Power 2 from the get-go, but they made it Power 5, and
still is. It's not new. Still is a Power 2. I mean, I'm not. All right, so let's get into the game. We're done with the national conversation because obviously there are still games to be played, the championship games for the conferences and stuff. It's going to be weird next year not having the, what's it called? Legends and leaders.
Legends.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. Not really. That's what every conference should have, legends and leaders, right? I mean, seriously.
Which would you rather be?
No, that's a good question.
Yeah, I want.
Now that's a conversation worth having.
In life, you want to be the leader, and in death, you want to be the legend.
And sometimes it works out that way.
But you don't get to pick when you're dead. Somebody else has to choose that for you, right?
You kind of got to be a leader to be a legend, I think, almost.
I would rather talk about this philosophical conversation than the game, actually. So you want to talk about life after death and that kind of shit, and meaning of life and all that? I'd rather catch this stuff.
And
moon, stars, quasars.
Motherfucking quasars. Motherfucker sound like Elroy Jetson. A good poll. Good poll. Good movie.
I got some Sazerac I just polished off the bottom. Big bottle.
Sazerac.
Been a while. It's hard to find. But anyway, yeah, let's get to the game. Let's open some wounds. Let's release some skeletons, or however you want to say it. I did my instant reaction today, so go check it out. And I'm going to keep a close watch on the live chat, but
yeah, they're going to come in. They got a right to. They got a right to come in now and give us our shit because
depends on how they come in, Jeff. That's the key.
True. Oh, I got you. Yeah,
they're not going to come in and dominate with 10 messages in a row saying "suck," "go blue," you know, "fuck you."
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll keep a close watch. If anybody sees anything, alert me. But
we're going grades and MVPs.
No, there's no MVPs.
Yes, of course.
Okay, well, sure.
This is standard operating procedure, guys. I'm not
alert on mine.
Actually, I should actually keep a record of this. I do have a winner of the t-shirt contest that fucking nailed the number. Nailed it. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. You gotta hang out and go through all our other bullshit first. Sorry. Not sorry. So let's get into it. It sounds like you guys want to just get right to the end.
Oh, I got pages of notes. I rewatched it. I've got notes on every quarter and all the shit that some good, mostly bad.
Am I in there?
Tell me I'm a prick. You're not in there.
I'm not in there. What? then it's not accurate.
Unless you were Malik Hartford or
Oh,
Sonny Styles.
Oh, okay. Sounds like we're starting off hot. How do you guys want to do this, chronologically or offense versus defense? What pissed you off most versus least? There's a lot of angles here. Let's start off with the first half. How'd you feel coming out of the half?
Shawn. Not great, Bob.
Let's go to Shawn.
Coming out of the half, like going into halftime?
Yeah.
How do I feel about that? I feel that is where we probably lost the game, frankly, was going into halftime. I thought that was rolling over on your belly and pissing on your tummy. Weak sauce. With 40 seconds left and a timeout, and it's 4th and 2, you're on what, the 30-something? You need some juice right now. And you opted to let it run down, call the timeout, make your guy hit a tough kick. I don't care that he hit the one before when no one's. It's just as a tough fucking spot. I would have rather went for it, and then there only would have been 30 seconds. Yeah, they had I think 2 timeouts left. Maybe they could have gotten to field goal range, but the D was playing solid to that point, except for the bad spot that
at their own 35 too.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I thought that was disappointing to me. I couldn't believe that when it happened. I'm like, what is going on? And to me, that's where Michigan. I don't. Ryan Day just had some moments that he's got to fucking get over, and he's like playing not to lose, and you got to play to win. You look what Michigan did with their 4th downs, going for it. That they were playing to win that football game. We were playing not to lose it, and to me, that's what a lot of it was. And again, to me, a lot of it goes back because maybe that's the only game plan that Ryan Day thinks he has, because he doesn't seem that super confident in his quarterback either. And it's this played out exactly as I saw it a year ago playing out. I thought we got closer and evened it up there in the end, and it was a good game. But started off with the pick, ended with the pick, and a bunch of mediocre football in the middle. But I don't know where we're going, but I don't give anybody. Did anybody on this team other than I feel like Trey? I feel like Trey played hard. Nobody stood out on this whole fucking team. Offensively, defensively, nobody was like, wow. To me, I don't know. Marv had, the good catch to this, but I guess maybe I'm just used to that. But
okay,
there's no MVPs, right?
So well, let's focus on the first half first, and I think Jeff and I are probably with you. Go ahead, Jeff. On the first half, how it played out for you. Hello.
Hey, Jeff, you there?
He quit.
Sorry, I'm here. Sorry, guys. I'm here. I had the same thoughts that Shawn did. What are we doing? Why are we not trying? Why are we not? We gotta play. Like we always said, we wanted to see the Ryan Day from the Georgia game, right? The aggressive, go for the kill. We got to take it to them. We're on the road. All let it all hang out, and we didn't get that.
No breaks. I think is what you're reaching for.
But yeah, I mean, that's that relentless pressure. Allowing our offense to put pressure on that defense, make them make plays, because we have better athletes at most of those matchups. We didn't have the better trigger man. And was that factoring? Was that Ryan Day? Was he factoring in that? He's been riding with McCord all season, but it seemed like he just finally he realized something. Like, oh, maybe we can't trust McCord. That first pick was god awful ugly. So I can understand the confidence in the coaching staff shaking a little bit. That was a horrible, horrible pass. Second possession.
But Marv, it was a horrible
maybe
pass,
that was it.
Marv would give a little.
I don't like Marv did Marv didn't think either. Like Marv didn't. It didn't look like he ran a full route. It didn't look like
it was a slant.
He didn't know the ball was coming to him.
No, it's an RPO. Kyle was reading the linebacker before giving or throwing, and the corner obviously watched a lot of tape and knew what was coming and jumped the route, which is a great play by the corner. But yes, Marv seemed to just like pull up.
Yeah.
He does that like sometimes. That. Like, I
that's not my job. I feel like that's not my problem.
But yeah, Joe, I had the same feelings that like what Shawn was saying. Why are we not being more aggressive? We need to get something's got to.
It was a bad pass. So just starting there, it was a bad pass. He should have read.
I'm talking about the last
corner
drive.
has inside leverage. He's jumping the route. Just throw it in the dirt. Just burn it. Right.
Yeah. But that last drive, right? At the half with a little bit of time left. Why are we not? Putting pressure on them. Why are we not trying to get
so that's a different issue. That's a Ryan Day game management issue that I am all on board with. I don't have any problems piling on him, and he's probably going to look at that today, tomorrow, whatever, and realize we have plenty of time. We could have tried to get a fourth or a first down on the fourth down, and even if we didn't, they still had to go, 40 yards to get a field goal shot?
I almost felt the look in his eye, like when he's over there, and then like 6 or 7 seconds already went by, and I feel like he's like, I fucking blew it, and then just let it run down, like he almost knew that he fucked that up.
Well, that was
maybe that'll come out in the.
Hold on, Jeff. I want to point out something important here. When you're in a game where possessions are limited, especially inside the 35, and they were at the 35, when possessions are so limited, and when you get your shot inside their side of the field, you got to take advantage, no matter what it takes. I think he was too conservative. And again, this is what my main issue. I talked about it today on the Blitz. It's if you say you're going to be aggressive, fucking show me. I didn't see it. I didn't see aggression until the end of the game.
Here's one also on the second drive that I really, I don't know who the people are upstairs. Maybe I'm nuts for thinking this, but it was our second drive, and we threw it to X-Man, and he went down, fought for extra yardage. He was real close, right at midfield. If they would have looked at it, it would have been a damn close to a first down if they reviewed that spot. They spotted him like a yard short. At the worst case, it would have been like 4th and inches. And I think right there's another opportunity to 4th and inches. We're fucking going for it.
That was our own 46. So
especially
a little
right there,
dicey, but yeah, I
give me a spot on that.
Go, yeah, I see your point about getting a review for sure, but that's a dicey area to go for it, man, in the first quarter, especially when the defenses both are playing really tight and strong, because they went 3 and out.
Yeah, so I would like to hear his thought process of maybe not wanting to put the defense in another bad spot like we did with the interception. But at the same time,
that was the second.
The interception came later.
Drive.
Yeah, this is second drive. The interception was third drive.
Okay. Yeah.
The Buckeyes got them off the field 3 and out twice in a row to start the game. We went out 3 and out and a 5 and out on punts to start the game. But yes, the pick then came later.
But
anyways,
what was his thought process there? If not, I think at the 46, your defense isn't going to give up that big play. We had fixed that issue. We had fixed it from the season. From versus last season. So you're not worried about a blown assignment getting them on just inside the 50. I think at the 46, I think you trust your defense there. I think you have all maximum confidence in your defense to hold them to 3 at the most. So yeah, you should always go for that. I would go for it at the 46, 4th and 1, always. I would go for it every time. You gotta show your team you have confidence. And in some games, Ryan Day would do that, but he's been in a lot of these big games. It's not like this was his first one. There's 4 of these. There's a national title game. There's semifinal games. I mean, fuck, man. It's not like you're not knowing exactly how. I mean, when you were super aggressive, it's the best we played. Now, granted, you had a different quarterback. You had a quarterback that is now killing shit in the NFL. So,
well, let's back up.
That's your aggressiveness.
I want to stay in the game moments here. So we're sticking with the first half, Jeff. I know that I get your point. We all get your point about CJ Stroud being different than Kyle McCord. That should be obvious. So you throw the pick on the third possession. You don't go for you take a field goal in the first quarter. Okay, when you get at the Michigan 24, then you do get a touchdown there in the second quarter. Then you get the missed field goal at the end of the second quarter. Please just let's finish up the first half with your thoughts, Shawn.
Well, I think it started Michigan's way. I think the defense came out, was holding tough, got put in a terrible spot, and then again with Marv not taking the effort to try and wrap him up right when he did it. I mean, he saw it. I mean, they were touching when he caught the ball. I mean, and if he tackles him right there, okay, the ball's on the 25, not on the 7, wherever the hell it ended up. And the D was holding tough there, but that's backbreaking. And then on that drive, Michigan went for it on all 4 downs, and they scored on 4th and 1. I actually think it's tough to tell from the angles, but it looked like Corum was probably in on the 3rd down play before that they reviewed. But regardless, so that we were in it with the McCord pick, but I was never happy with McCord. There was Marvin Harrison had a good first down catch, but again, the ball wasn't great. He had to adjust his body to do it. On the one throw down the middle to Stover, we should have had another pick going down there on one of those drives. That linebacker or safety or whoever had that ball in his freaking hands on one of those seams that McCord threw.
But they've completed that play multiple times throughout the
year.
They
have, and they did in this game later.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
For 34.
But still, I hate the way that he delivers it with like no air on that ball ever. So to me, it's just a lot easier to defend if you're a safety or somebody and get your head turned around, because all you got to do is put your hands up. Where if it's got some air under it, now you got to go catch it. And to me, it's just I've never liked the way that guy's thrown that ball. Again,
so first half, Michigan has the 4th drive. They have the 4th possession. They have 4 possessions in the first quarter. Yeah.
Yep.
Think about that. In the first quarter, they go 14 plays, 75 yards for a touchdown. That's back-to-back touchdowns, with the first one being off the interception. So Buckeyes also had 4. They go punt, INT, then 9 plays, 51 yards, field goal. So second quarter, Buckeyes go 7 plays, 73 yards, touchdown. And you're like, okay, but at that point, after the INT, I felt like we were playing catch up. Did you not? I mean, it seemed like, okay, we're down 7-3, and I felt like we were constantly chasing.
I didn't feel bad then, but go ahead, Jeff.
I say down 7-3, but we were coaching the game like we were down 14. You're right, Joe. We were playing like we can't let it get to, we were like down several scores, and we can't let it get to any more. Like we were at the like coaching like we were at the brink of if we make one more mistake, we're gonna get housed here or blown out. You're trying to keep the game manageable, which is not the case because they never pulled away from us. You know what I mean? Throughout, they know how that game came out, but
Michigan had one possession in the second quarter, 5 plays, 24 yards, and a punt. That's it.
Yeah, defense was trying to keep us in that game overall.
We only had 2 possessions. These were long, drawn out possessions for both teams. So kind of burned up. Buckeyes had it for 4 minutes and then 3.5. Michigan had it for 3. So, then you get the field goal attempt we talked about, obviously on a 4th and 2 at their 35, I feel 100% you've got to go for it. And Ryan Day seemed pretty defiant after the game about that. He was
I didn't watch anything.
He tried to explain it in elementary terms. Like he said, he was questioned twice about that call, actually. Second guy, it seemed like Ryan Day had enough about that. And he was like, well, if we don't get the first down on 4th and 2, the other team gets the ball. He's like being a dick about it. But it's like, yeah, but they're at their own 35 is what everybody's thinking in their brains. I don't think that computed with him. He didn't think, he thought that them with 2 timeouts at their own 35 would suddenly be a big problem. Like they're going to score a touchdown. Yeah, maybe they'll get in field goal range. Like if JJ can magically put up 40 yards in throwing the ball, but that's a reach in 30 seconds.
It's almost like mentally he waffles back and forth from being I know
aggressive
how hyper aggressive we were versus Jim Tressel won a lot of games playing it this way versus we almost beat Georgia last year playing this way. But it's like he's back and forth with it like mentally, and it comes into his decision making. And I don't know if any of that relates to the confidence that the players start developing during a game. If his decisions are affecting McCord's tightness or some of his throws that are flat or short. Is he fucking gripping too hard because he doesn't think coach has the utmost confidence in him? Why does he not have the confidence in the defense? Why like you're saying, Joe, their own 35 with 2 timeouts. Yeah, I'll trust that defense. That defense has shown us all year. They're gonna have to put together a long drive, and execute every play. Then we're not going to give them those big plays like we.
No, it's actually a short drive, Jeff. They got to go to get in field
go 30 yards. They're going to go 30
at
yards.
least. They got to go 15 each direction to even get a 50-yarder up.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm saying like
with wind.
And if you're holding Michigan to field goals, that's almost a victory. That's like you almost take that like. You're only worried about them getting touchdowns and then really jumping ahead of us. But if we kept holding them to even field goals, we would.
Well, we did that in the second half. Only they scored on every fucking possession, and we did not.
Well, hey, I've got a couple more notes here on that. My first notes were only the first quarter. We're in the second quarter. I don't know. My conspiracy mind. So there was a throw. I think it was a 3rd down. It was a long one to Cornelius Johnson on the sideline, and his knees definitely were out of bounds. You couldn't see it. They only showed it from the back. You don't know when he got possession of his ball. Like his feet would have been in, but you don't know when he had it. And the way that they screwed us with the Roman Wilson one, or tried to, when he was sitting out of bounds, you go back and look at it. And when I rewatched the game, they never showed that catch at another angle again. And I wonder if there is another angle that exists of that play, because that would be interesting.
There were a lot of default catch calls, right? Like it seemed to be the default. Yes, catch first.
And then I don't see how Malik Hartford did not turn his head around. I mean, if you saw that slow-mo from the thing, I mean,
I mean,
it's like,
That's his one snap he had in the fucking game, man.
Was that his only snap?
Only snap. They brought in a dime package, and a freshman safety comes in. Don't tell me why. Don't ask me why, because I can't tell you why. But yeah, that was his only.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I had a spotlight on the whole defense, because you can't. Everybody needs to make plays. You can't let that happen. That would have been a pick, at least incomplete. And again, like you said, you hold them to a field goal there. Okay, that's winning on a drive like that.
I believe so. Yeah, having confidence that you have big play makers on your offense, you can strike quick and get touchdowns and catch up. So
let me just say, and I don't know, I'll play a little bit of Ryan Day's defense, and maybe while he was a little bit discombobulated going into the half, because we had it down on our 2-yard line. And I think I was thinking, even when that drive started, I'm like, guys, just get it fucking out of here and give yourself some room to punt. Let's not get too crazy here. And then things started going well for us. And I think he was more survival mode when we were backed up there, as into attack mode. And I don't think he made that switch quick enough.
Okay. Yeah, coming out of your own end zone, yeah, you have to be cautious and hoping your guys execute, the run.
Well, it was 3rd and 6, and he threw off his back foot, and Fleming made an amazing catch.
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah, there's a lot of throws that worked out for us or didn't hurt us that looked like they weren't those pressure, those pressure throws on point and stuff that like you need a quarterback to make in those plays, in those situations.
Footwork has been an issue.
Tackling.
Right. Footwork has been an issue with Kyle, but guys, I check these grades every week for the O-line, pass blocking, run blocking. This was their worst game in both categories. The O-line. So if you're a quarterback, think about it. How confident can you be when you constantly have pressure in your face, out to your sides? I mean, you can move around within the pocket, but if the pocket is just getting smaller and smaller and smaller in split seconds, what can you do? I mean, I'm all right. So I'm done being the Kyle defender. All right.
You should be, because they had one sack?
Yes, one sack, but plenty of pressures. And I'm not going to get into it yet. But my point is, how can you be a successful quarterback if you are constantly being pressured from all sides and especially up front? Carson Hinsman, the center, needs to transfer out. I don't care what they do. This is like big picture stuff. I shouldn't get into it right now because we're still talking about the game. But anyway, O-line was horrific. I don't want to hear about how great Michigan's D-line is. Yeah, it's good. It's very, very good. But there was no obstruction in front of them, seemingly. And it cost us the game, in my opinion. So let's continue.
I don't know. You asked the question: How's a guy supposed to be successful when there's pass rush? Because that's what successful quarterbacks do. Successful quarterbacks avoid it and work with it. That's not Kyle's strong suit. And at any level, you're never going to have a fucking clean pocket when you get to the big games. That's it. Period.
The way our O-line was losing the line of scrimmage, that probably played a lot into the aggressiveness that maybe Ryan Davis was trying to be aggressive, but he was trying to protect, trying to not let that O-line, get beat too bad or give up that.
It changes your play calling. Yes. Yeah. It 100% affects what you're calling as a play caller.
you see the poor protection. You see the poor protection throughout the game, and then in the first half you see McCord's bad interception. So yeah, all of that I think is factoring into his thought process throughout the rest of the game. Like, that's got to play with your willingness to be aggressive versus we got to hold tight, be conservative, try to run the ball, see if we can get a crease somewhere, and hope somebody makes a big play. I believe
that's a lot of hope in one hand and shit in the other scenario.
That's when you asked me Friday on the rush hour, why is my thoughts of nervousness in this game? It was that I broke the O-line. Our O-line can't hold up. That's what I was nervous about.
Yep. I asked in my 5 keys on Friday, I said the O-line needs to have their best game. They actually had one of their worst games.
And that's the best D-line we played against all year.
Right. So again, but Jeff, my point being that affects the pass game, the run game, everything. Right?
Of course it does, but you still can't turn it over.
Well, no, I'm not justifying fucking interceptions, Shawn.
Well, that's the difference in the game. Is fucking turnovers. 2 of them.
Well, that's the whole game. Hold up. The second turnover was not his fault. He got hit when he threw it. Let me come and hit you when you're trying to throw a ball and see where it fucking ends up, dude. So let's keep it in perspective. The first interception, yes, on Kyle, 100%, no excuses, no blaming it on the O-line, not Marv or anything. 100%, the slant route, terrible throw. Should have been burned, should have been overthrown.
I'll go back and look at it. Throw the move out of the way. Throw it sooner.
What do you mean? The second? At the end of the game in a scramble mode? Yeah, you can't blame a quarterback for that. But hey, it shows up on the stat sheet, so that's all that matters, right? Not really. Anyway, second half, Buckeyes let 4 scoring drives go again. So this is where you flip it over to the defense and say, how do you let them drive? 6 plays, 46 yards, 7 plays, 75 yards, 7 plays, 44 yards. And the killer, the dagger, is a 13 play, only 56 yards, but 7 minutes off the clock to basically seal the game.
Yeah, that was it. I said we can't get off the field. We cannot. I'm looking at the time. It's just tick, minutes going by. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Now we're gonna have to be super ultra aggressive because
so that limits what you can do on offense when you got a minute and 15 maybe, right?
Well, let me back this up for you. So I got notes on second half too. And even when it was the start of the fourth quarter, when I thought our hustle needed to be a bit more. This was our first drive of the fourth quarter, it looks like. And we used all of the play clock on a 3rd and 8. That was that Johnson run that just got there, that weird run. And then the next play we took it down to 6 seconds.
Right.
Yep, that play. Next play we took it down to 6 seconds. Next play we took it down to 7 seconds. Now I know there was still like 8 minutes left in the game or whatever. But again, right in those moments, I think, save yourself a minute there that you get on the back end of this game.
Right.
Because you might need it.
I see it.
And just no urgency in that. And I just thought, why? And then I see Michigan. Michigan did us a favor on a couple of them, and then they slowed it down. But they snapped one with like 15 seconds left. I'm like, all right, thanks, Michigan. take the extra seconds.
Yeah.
But I thought that was bad. I mean, that third quarter, my anticipation coming out third quarter, sitting there with some friends, like-minded friends, and it's like, all right, we can't come out there and they can't go down and score a touchdown on us. You know, we got to get them out of here. I mean, 1 to 3 and out or stalled drive, but 3, okay, wasn't the end of the world. Then our first drive,
it was a 50-yarder too. It's not like it was a gimme.
It was a bomb.
Which apparently Big Ten has best kickers in the fucking world that continuously bury 50-yarders at will. Different topic, but please go ahead, Shawn.
But then we go 8 straight runs to finish our next drive to tie that thing up.
Yeah. Right down their fucking throat.
Yep.
And that was a momentum chance. Okay, that was a chance. That was a chance to flip it right there.
Tell me the feeling you got right there, guys. Let's start with Shawn because you're leading it off. When you see the Buckeyes go 8 plays right down their throat, punch it in with Trey, how are you feeling right then? You think we're taking the fucking physical edge right now, right?
It's psychological. It's for the players. Right. You're taking all the fans, 100,000 people. That, you know, there's nothing to cheer about when you're getting the ball run down your throat. I mean, that's deflating to everyone, the team, the crowd, everybody. It's like, geez, can we stop these guys?
Here's the drive right here.
To tie that up.
Let me read it off to you, and I want you to go off. So we had sack on first down. Kyle McCord sacked by Mason Graham, 3-yard loss. Then Kyle passed for 14 yards to Marvin Harrison. Then Trey up the middle for 3 yards. Then 15-yard pass to Emeka. Then Trey, 4 yards. Trey, 5 yards. Trey, 3 yards. Chip, 12 yards. Chip, 6 yards. Chip, 5 yards. Trey, 8 yards. And Trey, 3 yards for the TD. Now go ahead, Shawn.
Oh, that's the thing of beauty right there. That's when I'm like, okay, we're back in this. Everything is going in our direction right now. We've overcome the early mistake of the interception that led to the touchdown, and all right, we're back in business. Got it tied up.
Yep,
you know,
tied up. Yeah,
should be ahead, and okay, let's go. Defense.
Yeah, we spotted them 7.
Yep. Defense. All right, man up. Let's be that D that we know you are.
Yeah.
And then what happens on the next drive is
I don't want to read that, Shawn. I don't want to read
McCarthy does what McCarthy does, and scrambles for a 15-yard first down, and that's the type of stuff that makes him different in these types of games. Is his ability to do that, and then Styles, my guy, Sonny. You can't give up the outside leverage. That was just Bush League. That's what kept you off the field for these years. It ain't your ability. Your ability's off the. I mean, everyone knows you're going to be a stud even on Sundays. It's the mental, and you just needed to keep that outside leverage, and that doesn't happen.
Is this a good time to talk about special teams, or is there ever a good time?
Not ours.
Yeah.
I thought our punts, was this his worst punting performance? Do you got his average yards per punt?
I do, actually.
He had a very mediocre ass game.
Yeah, I do. I think it was a 43 long. Hold the fuck up. I think it was average of 38-ish. 1 sec.
Yeah, that average should be around 43, 44.
Let's see. Here we go.
And getting the nice deep one in the key spot when you really need to flip the field, having the punter.
See, that's what I try to tell my wife every night. We need a deep one in the key spot. She doesn't get it, but she's not a punter, so I understand. And she's not Australian, thank God, because everything goes counterclockwise. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Jesse Mirko is now going back. I used to call him Micro when I was unimpressed with him. Back to Jesse Micro. So, yes, blame it on my dyslexia. I don't really have that. It's more of an insult. So anyway, the average for Jesse Micro was 36.7. His long was 43. He's no Cam Johnston, is what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah, his average should his longest should have been the average. You know,
I don't give a shit.
then getting one
The
to a 50
wind,
plus.
yeah, there was a little wind in the first quarter. Come on, dude. You know how to work around that shit. You tell me it's not windy in fucking Australia. I know it is. Anyway,
And
so let's kind of start to polish this up. Jeff, I want you to touch on the second half. We'll let Shawn go on way too long, I think. Just kidding, Shawn. I love your insight.
Shawn did the rewatch today and had the notes. I have not rewatched it. I didn't think I needed to put myself through that mental stress again. But we kind of covered
it's
it about
another
the long
excuse
drive.
to drink.
Well, I was working today. But it goes back to the defense giving up those drives, like you said. You broke down the possessions. You can't give up a touchdown every possession in the second half when you're not leading at halftime. You know what I mean? It just
or a score. You can't just give up a score, even though there are 3 field goals and 1 touchdown in the second half.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you're holding them to field goals, you're holding an undefeated team that's like talent wise, they're unequal to us. You got to have confidence that your offense can answer. If you hold 3 and then they get 3 again, well, your offense got to get a touchdown one of those 2, and then the 3 are the 2 threes are negated. So, there was just no when the defense made stands, the offense it seemed like they almost fed off each other. When the defense was struggling and giving up points, they didn't have the offense to pick them up. For whatever reason, I can tell you the reason. It's the line of scrimmage. 3 things: who ran the ball for more yards, who controlled the line of scrimmage, and who had the costly turnovers. That's your ball game right there. Answer those 3 questions, and you say, "Oh yeah, well that's the team." Yeah, of course Michigan won. You know what I mean?
Can't say Michigan on the line of
simple.
scrimmage. Honestly, I will agree.
Would you say we won it? I'm saying not dominate. I'm saying, but who would overall offense and defensive line? Who won the line of scrimmage? I can't say we did because our O-line took a shit, and we got pressure on JJ. Yeah, we got a few sacks, whatever, a few flash plays, but they put together the drives in the second half to get the points, and their defensive line was able to.
That's a different conversation.
Well, it really got
but it was that controlling the line of scrimmage is what led to them getting those scoring drives. You don't run 9 plays or an 8 play or 12 play drive if your fucking offensive line's not doing their job. We didn't have those drives because our O-line was not doing the job.
What got us off track in this game was after Styles made that bad angle, bad contain, and Corum took it for the 20-something yard touchdown. Okay, fine. They go back up by a touchdown. To me, okay, no big deal. Shit happens. There's still plenty of time. It's still the third.
It's only 1 touchdown. Yeah, it's only 1 touchdown. Right.
It's our drive. McCord on this next drive, okay, let's go swing with these guys. Let's go down and have a drive. McCord throws a ball to Ibuka that gets him completely fucking lit up where he has to come off the field and drops that ball, which brings up 3rd and long. On that 3rd down, he throws into double coverage that even if it would have been caught, would have been short, but it was incomplete. And that hit on Ibuka, again, talk about momentum and crowd momentum. That place went nuts. You could feel that even through the broadcast if you had the volume on. And that's the type of thing where it's like, oh yeah, we just hit you with a big right hand there. And that, to me, that drive, that moment was a huge, huge moment in that game. And that was our last drive of the 3rd quarter.
How do you think about, well, you also had the Sanders still hit on Trey. That was pretty big.
Yeah,
but how do you feel that
McCord lighting throwing bad balls to get dudes killed?
Well, hold on. He's trying to complete passes here to people that are open. It's a tough catch. You got to make a tough catch sometimes. I've had quarterbacks in my limited career kind of lay me out sometimes I make the catch, sometimes I don't. Anyway, this is not about low rent football. My point was going back to something.
Quarterbacks are supposed to throw good balls and not get their dudes lit up, period.
Jesus, Shawn, come on. It's fucking football. You think every ball is perfectly placed? That's unrealistic.
He does it a bit more than I'd like to see.
Yes. All right, but guys, so we get, Buka gets lit up, right? And it's a big hit, and it's the crowd gets them hyped, and they're getting the momentum. We had a chance after that drive when we ran the ball down their throats and scored. That was our opportunity to retake momentum, take momentum over and control it. We could have controlled it going after that, but we didn't. And if you guys get lit up like that on plays, your receivers, Trey guy, Buka, you got to be able to answer either with not necessarily with a big crackback block or something that's decleater, but you just a big play. You have to stun them with something. If you don't answer at all, now it's just building. Now that it's just like they're gaining power and you're shrinking.
That's from the crowd point of view, yeah. Right.
But you got to think though that 110,000 people are fighting against you. That's got to play a part as far as momentum and everything. You got to be able to hit a big play to answer to that to maybe calm them back down, or it just and we didn't, and it just kept growing and it just got like a fever pitch.
That's easy to say.
We didn't answer.
But yeah, in
those type of games, you need to be able to make a play to kind of quiet that back down. It's like getting a 20-second timeout in basketball. Teams, hits three threes in a row. You call a quick 20 to kind of calm everybody back down and kind of stop their momentum. Us in football, we needed to hit a big play, a big gain, a big something.
Ideally, yeah.
That's what you have to do to the momentum. Momentum is huge, and we had a chance to take control of it. We didn't, and they did when the momentum swung back to them.
Yeah. I got nothing but for the fourth quarter.
Fourth, the only thing, of course, to add insult to injury, the fucking trick play. Oh gosh. They're already cheaters. Trick plays are almost cheating to me, so it's so fitting that they'd run that.
It is like it is rubbing salt in the wound already that they already caused on you. But goddamn it, if you got to keep your fucking mind and everything you got to stay focused, and you can't let those happen when you're already struggling. Down points. They're eating the clock. You can't let something like that. You got to be able to make that. Make it, either not make the stop, maybe even, but answer to it. Not let that be the determining factor and them just eating clock on you.
I'll be
going out the rest of the
possession. I'll be the first to say the only guy I'm scared of next year on Michigan's team is Colston Loveland. That dude's a fucking beast.
Yeah.
We thought Sonny in coverage would be the answer. 6'5", 245 or whatever he is, can run. Sonny wasn't the answer in coverage on tight ends.
Again, I think the ability's there. Yeah, I just don't know what the discipline is.
Great. Well, at least so let's kind of wrap it up.
He's still only 18.
Yeah, I'm tired of that excuse.
But I'm just saying, like 18, 19, 20-year-olds in that environment, yeah, they're going to have a brain fart every now and then. You know what I mean? It's not excusable. I'm just saying, you almost if it happens, you're like, well, yeah, of course it happens. But yeah, you would think if they have a brain fart, it doesn't be so costly, and maybe it gets gets covered up by something else. But in these games, they don't. The spotlight's on, and the magnifying glass is put right on you, and it shows bigger than shit.
Well, I would say our linebackers were the bigger issue, Jeff. When you're talking about covering tight ends.
Oh, sure.
That was not on Sonny.
We haven't. If you want to get to all of it, I'm not leaving them away from the gunshots.
All right, go ahead, Jeff. I want you to target everyone by position group. No, seriously. Corners? Do you have any issue with corners? Or do you want? We could talk Big Ten refs. That's a popular topic. I mean, did Roman Wilson have that ball in possession when he crossed the goal line?
I don't know if he ever possessed it, but
you never see that.
Did he ever have that ball when he sat his ass on the fucking end line or the sideline?
A sideline. I think his ass out of bounds. It was a more blatantly missed call. That change of possession in the end zone, that never gets called for the defense. Never gets that call. It's happened to us before.
It happened with
the simultaneous possession kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. It's that could have went either way, and either team is going to feel like they got jobbed if that call got reversed or it stayed. That's just
it goes by what it was called on the field, right?
Yeah, and the defense never gets that call.
It's 100% a pick.
Right.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Correct, Shawn. Yes, correct. If that's not in the end zone, you're right. Then it's a pick, and it's one of the greatest plays that it's on SportsCenter and da.
The argument to me is, did he? I don't know if he ever had it, but if he did have it, right when the moment he crosses the goal line is probably when he had it the most, if you will.
But you have to continue to catch to the ground, even in the end zone, and you still have to, so having it in the air doesn't matter. You have to continue to catch through the play in the end zone or in the field of play, either or. So it was a big. Obviously, we were screaming at each other at the party I was at. But I think the more egregious miss was his ass sitting on the white on the sideline.
Yeah, why was every default call a catch? Oh, he caught it. He caught it. Wait, hold on.
And that's what we all kept saying. It's like everything.
What are you guys watching?
I don't think there's enough to overturn it. Corum's touch. Exactly. Thought on third down over the goal line, he couldn't see the ball. So I said, well, if they didn't call it, if they would have called it a touchdown on the field, they wouldn't have overruled it. Since they called it short, they weren't going to be able to overrule it because you couldn't see the football. He might have been, Shawn. You're right. He might have been over, but you can't see the ball, so you can't assume because you don't know where the ball is exactly. So a lot of those calls were, just looking at them. All of us are saying, I say, and Michigan fans, we're all saying they're not going to overturn it because it doesn't, it would have been called the other way if they would have, how they called on the field.
But concerning Big Ten refs, I mean, seriously, can't we get a crew of 40-year-old dudes that are ex-coaches or whatever that know what the fuck that they're doing instead of these geriatric crews that are out there all the time?
Right.
I mean, my eyes start getting worse when I hit 50, and these guys trying to get up and down the field, they're senior citizens, they're on fixed incomes, they're just waiting to be plucked by some Vegas money. I mean, let's get serious about it. Get some athletic lawyers out there.
I'll be happy to do it in my 40s, Shawn.
Yeah.
I feel really good about myself in my 40s. I could definitely do it. But I will. I would be on the take.
Yeah. Do you think these guys? I mean, Social Security isn't going up that much. I mean, you think these guys couldn't use an extra few stacks in the pocket?
Oh, yeah. Give me some bands.
Right.
So
a couple of first-class tickets to Europe. I'm take the wife on a honeymoon or on a 50-year anniversary.
Keep it fair.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm
not saying that happened. I'm just.
How do we need to wrap it up?
Wrap it up like this, Joe. Ryan Day is now 1-3. They've beat us 3 years in a row, and we're looking up at Michigan. We are now a fucking second-tier Big Ten school, or second. We're the second tier in the Big Ten. Not that's harsh. And I'm using the tiers as there's one team at tier 1, there's one team at tier 2, there's one team at tier 3. So we are tier 2 in the Big Ten. There's no other way to fucking chop it. They proved it 3 years in a row. Once on our place, two times at theirs. Until we fucking do something, we got to eat it. We got to fucking eat it.
I'm not going to eat it. You eat it.
They have this. Hey, this is the first time in 20 years that they have a better quarterback than we do, and look what happens. All right, we dominate them because we've always had better quarterbacks. And more talent, most of the time. But now talent's equating almost. It's real close.
Yeah,
they have better. But their coach staff gets. I think their coaching staff gets them ready, better prepared for these games, because player by player, you think, yeah, we have more talent. Our guys were higher rated, 1 through 85, but our guys don't perform at the level that they say they're, of their talent. Their guys outplay.
Usually a bit older. They're not usually playing as many young kids as we are. So that erases.
Blake Corum just turned 23 on Saturday.
Well, I mean, yeah,
that's not a joke. That's real. He just turned 23, and they have 44 seniors. I'm not saying that's an excuse. I'm not using that as an excuse, but that has been recently, since the COVID year, since 2020, and they didn't show up. That has been their MO. They go get these guys that are 4th, 5th, 6th year seniors.
And it's working for them,
Yeah. I mean, if you got dudes that could be in the NFL and you can talk them into staying in college, great.
And that COVID year, we're getting out of it. So this is about the end of it. Aside from like redshirt injuries, that kind of stuff. But so next year, I mean, they're losing a bunch this year. They're and if JJ leaves with the rest of that team, that's the seniors and the top draft picks that they're going to have, the guys that are going pro. So they're supposed to be in a lull next year. So what's going to stop us from getting revenge finally back at home next year? Does Kyle McCord? Is Kyle McCord our quarterback next year, or does somebody beat him out? Because if nobody beats him out, I sent a text to you guys.
That's going to be a upcoming podcast topics.
Right. I mean, but like, sorry. So JJ, as long as JJ's there, they have the better quarterback than we do in our program. Now, if JJ leaves and McCord comes back next year, McCord better be the better quarterback.
Yeah,
we're going to be officially in that lull in the program.
Come on, JJ's not.
JJ, I think he's going too. I'm just saying.
Who's that orgy guy that they brought in? That dude's scary, man.
I think he likes to party.
You think he
likes to party? If that was my name, I would. Yeah, I would party.
They're super hyped about him. Michigan fans are
great.
He's a beast.
They feel like they're getting that where we had the quarterback just coming one after another. Get a guy for 2 years, then the guy's
he looks like Joe Milton, actually.
He does. He's super. He looks.
Let's not get into that. Let's not get into that. All right, I gotta polish it off. That's what she said. So thank you for everybody popping in the chat. We really appreciate everybody coming in. We only got 6 likes, but 100 people watching. That's probably a bunch of Michigan fans. I assume the Michigan fans are not putting a like on this. I've had to delete many a Michigan fan negative comments, call me many beautiful names. They are very eloquent with their insults. Not really, but anyway.
We got to wear it though. I mean, we got to fucking 3 years in a row.
Well, they don't. Well, calling people names that are podcast hosts, it's not really wearing it or really sticking it to the Buckeyes. Anyway, I am not one bit affected. I just think it's funny. It's worth talking about because it's funny. All right. Appreciate everybody coming in. We'll be back. I'll be live Monday afternoon, 4:30 Eastern. We'll be back and Monday, Wednesday, Friday, back on the regular schedule. Keep an eye out for the Daily Blitz first thing in the morning.
Bowl selection after.
Don't give me
Sunday
your bowl
night?
Selections. Yeah, well,
Sunday after the games.
There's no.
Yes.
What are you talking about? Bowl selection?
No, the college the playoffs the playoffs when they set the bowl games, the New Year's Six.
Well, we still got championship week next week.
Yeah, and that's Saturday. They do it Sunday, I believe. All the conference championship games are Saturday.
Yes.
Sunday
So
they do
we'll
the
have
selection
that.
show.
We'll have
So
that.
next time.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
it should be
maybe
over.
if we can queue up our guy, Gary Stoken, we'll get a conversation with him and he can tell us how he's not happy about the shitty teams they're going to get at the Peach Bowl.
Well, yeah.
Because
And where do we go?
We're going to say that.
And where
we're not going to be there.
Well,
we're not going to be there.
We're going to be there. So we're going to be somewhere in that New Year's Six, I believe.
Orange Bowl,
Peach
probably.
Bowl, Orange Bowl.
If we're not in the CFP. The playoffs are all west of the Rockies. So
Sugar Bowl is a semifinal.
You think we have a championship caliber team?
I don't know. Let's start that conversation on Monday.
Okay, all right. But no, we don't. Our O-line proved that.
Right. All right, folks. Hey, we appreciate everybody popping in. Jeff, Shawn, appreciate you.
Oh, love the Bucks. Sorry for the tough love, but had to vent.
No shit.
Hey, it's all good in the hood.
Everybody saw it, though.
I see what I see, man.
That's right. All right. Talk to you guys later.
Later, bro.
Go Bucks.